There they are. There they are. Hello, fam. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means, fam. You're my fam. It's time for the footy with Mans, which is our Wednesday edition, but technically Thursday because it comes out on a Thursday. And that's when all of our little community that come together and they watch this live stream coming to you.
Hang on, Broden, you're on mute.
Always.
Were you on mute for the whole time?
No, I was actually just fucking with him.
Are you?
Tom's on one today.
He's on
I
something.
have done it to him like 8 times though. It's pretty funny.
Every time. He keeps doing this where...
You're so proud of yourself.
Hey, you, rein it in. Cam, reiner it in.
It was funny. I got him good.
He's on a tear, this guy.
Got him.
We should just crack in because this is a big episode.
Love it.
I want stats and data from you. Mans, can you drop something into the pod for me today?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to go I want you to get like Daniel Hoyne's stats. So I want you to be like, we got to look at the disposal efficiency of the ruckman. If Grundy's getting his hands on it to a high disposal efficiency, I think we're going to see the game slip on certain. Give me some, and I think it'll be funny because usually you
But I didn't have any stats ready. I could have done that.
You could make them up.
You can make them, or maybe someone if someone says a good a good thing to say in the comment section.
I did see Daniel Hoyne on SEN say ground ball gets. Brisbane 80% efficient, 80% they win them in finals, but 50%. Okay. Anyway.
The ghost of Hoyne is
say
talking
that.
to me.
Okay.
And Tom, I want you to say something along the lines of, I think the game lives and breathes on those boys down forward at some point. Okay,
I think it lives and dies in the ruck, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just want him to,
Especially this weekend.
I mean, if Danaher gets a hold of him, game because Amadi's not getting a hold of him. In my opinion, imagine if you get 9 again on the grand final.
Imagine if you get.
It'd be even better.
Hey, Richard, thank you for gifting all year. It's a really lovely vibe. Eidolon, in honor of our Lord and Savior Patrick Cripps, two-time, by the umpiring metrics, the greatest footballer to ever live.
Yes, by the umpiring metrics.
Yeah. There's a Greg Vinyl here who was saying, hello, Mum.
Hi, Mum.
We've got a live studio audience today.
We do. A live studio audience of 1.
Your mum's watching here, but prefers to be off camera, which, hey, me too.
No worries.
Shall we crack in?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
It's good to see you all. It's funny, I see the same names all year, and you've all been here the whole year, and I'm glad we've become a part of your Wednesdays. I call it Hump Day. Do you know why I call it that, Tom?
Because you're getting over the hump of that is midweek.
All right, you win this round. Yes, it's lovely to see you all here. Let's do it. We'll be here next Wednesday though, so it's the same thing. But anyway, folks, we did it. The first. Wait, what am I saying? We did it. It's been a long year, and I don't know how to talk anymore. Bounce that pill. Oh, it's good to be back with you. It's been a long M season, and it's wonderful to be here. For the men's season, we are coming to a close. 90 short weeks of football, and Mans, I'd like to celebrate your first year with us for the men's. Congratulations, welcome.
It's been long.
It's been too long.
Yeah.
So I remember, because I love my footy content, and I remember other years where I didn't do this stupid thing, and watching them all the people who do it getting a bit tired and grumpy at this time of year, and going, "Hey, you should love it." And now I feel like Dermot Brereton. Just going, end this season, end. How do you feel about? What do you give this year out of 10, Tom?
Oh, it's been the best year of my life, guys.
Best year of your life?
Yeah, why not?
When was Addie born?
Last year.
Fair enough.
And
I got to experience him a bit. We made great strides. I quit my part-time job I held on to for 16 years.
True.
Taking big strides, guys.
Good. Congratulations, Tom. And Mans, what's your ranking of this year?
Oh, it's been a weird year.
Yeah.
Like overall or footy-wise?
That's why I call it yeared. Footy-wise, yeah, give me footy-wise.
Oh, great. Excellent. Really, really good.
Yeah, top tier.
Genuine, like, the season was just very fun. And doing this has been a lot of fun.
And how have you liked going around to Sydney, Adelaide and Melbourne with the live show? Sydney, Adelaide and Perth for the live show.
The best. It, like, went by in a flash. It was so quick, but so fun. It was really strange to meet fans. Like, that hasn't never happened really to me.
Me neither.
Before. And like having someone make me like a bar romantica bracelet. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that's
an
so
in-joke.
Yes, and
That
it's
is
so
a good
personal and like it's so sweet and lovely. But it's strange to think that people know me very well. You know what I mean?
Sold out Rechabite for you and Tom. Please welcome Tom. People went there. Woo! They went crazy, the people of Perth.
They love Tom.
Hard.
They love Tom.
I think Tom's the king of Perth now.
Yeah, very kind.
No, you'll never
very
take
kind
Basil's
people.
place.
Yeah, that's true.
Tomorrow night we're doing 2 shows. The early show, 7 o'clock, is sold out. There are 35 at last count extra tickets available for the late show, which will start at 9:30. That is going to be feral.
That will
and
be.
I will have lost my sensibilities by then.
Yes.
So that's worth going to.
Yeah,
so
it's
come
gonna be
along to
funny,
that.
guys.
It's going to be a who's who of the online footy media there as well.
Who?
Oh, the Marmalades will be watching. And,
are they?
yeah, and the
Oh, and Will's coming.
Will
I'm so
Anderson.
excited about Will coming. Is he coming to the late show or the
Early show because he gets up at 4 a.m. to do Triple M breakfast.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Which I was on there this morning, and it's such a crossover of our audience. It's the same people listening to this are the same people listening to Triple M at 6 a.m. Everyone with their flat tray Toyota Hiluxes going to the job site. But you enjoyed it?
Oh my God, I had so much fun. So much fun. And it's still, it's a bit surreal to have, especially like men and women, but men be like, I've started watching AFLW because of you. And I was like,
Yeah.
Like, it's very cool.
There were some young ones too.
Yeah. Also, finding out that literal children listen to this.
We met a kid called Marnie,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Goes to Port Adelaide.
Yep. Good on. Unfortunately, yeah, that's a hard thing to go through. But it was a great trip. Apart
Yes,
from
it
flying from Perth to Melbourne, which is the worst thing that's
Oh,
ever
yeah,
happened.
that was- How was your flight? We didn't ask.
Well, mine was, so I got the 6 a.m. flight. So I got up at 4 a.m. and then it was stuck on
crazy.
the tarmac for an hour.
That's right. Yeah.
That I was pretty grumpy about. But no, I was just in and out of sleep the whole way back to Melbourne, which was fine.
Just before we get into footy, and there is so much to talk about, the AFL Grand Final is this Saturday
Is it?
afternoon. I'm sorry to ruin your news coming up. But has anyone else noticed that everyone's a bit angry this week around? Have you felt there's a bit of vibe just around that everyone's a bit tired and grumpy?
Yes, very much so.
I have felt that. So here's my experience of what happened to me. Lock in. This is what happened to me yesterday. Not to brag, but I was doing traditional television yesterday, a show called Cheap Seats with Tim and Mel, which is like a news show. And I'm driving through the city to Channel 10 in Paran. And halfway through the city, courier vans, like the guys who go around in vans delivering stuff all day.
Yeah. Had one
And they
today.
have like 150 deliveries and they're tearing through the city at an
Yes.
incredible speed.
Incredible pressure to get it all done.
So I'm just driving along going, feels like everyone has a bad energy at the moment. This van pulls up in front of me, comes across in front of me without indicating and then turns off. So I give them rightly a little beep saying, you almost hit me. And I can tell by his arms flailing that he's very mad that I beeped him. And I'll do the beep length now. Beep. So just a normal beep, not a naughty boy beep, not a beep beep, and not a wah, just a beep. I pull up next to him at light, but I'm a little bit further. But as I go past, my window's up, but I can just see him. It feels like mime. He's just yelling at me. And I go, you know what? I'm going to see where this goes. So I reversed back
my God.
and put my window down. And he goes to me, I don't like being tooted. And he goes, I spend all day on the road. He's about mid-50s man. Spend all day on the road driving around. I hate it. And I said back to him, to try and diffuse the situation, I said, who you tipping on Saturday? And he looked back at me just like even madder. And then he paused and just went, Sydney. And then we take off and I drive to Channel 10 like 20 minutes and I kind of calm down from almost having a tiff on the road. And in 20 minutes I'm driving. I get to Channel 10. I pull into the car park, go up to the studio. One of the producers meets me, takes me through to the elevator to go up to do makeup. And as the doors open to the elevator, coming out of the elevator is the courier from the other side of the city. The same guy, literally kilometers away. We were going to the same destination. He walks out. He's got a big box of stuff. I look at him. He looks me in the eye. We recognize each other immediately. And we both subconsciously make the decision to pretend that we've never met each other before in our lives and just walk past each other. So that was my fun story. And that is just to say it's grand final week. But even in road rage, you can ask your road rage friend who he's tipping.
That's a great diffuser.
Yeah, well, I could have gone two ways. He could have pulled out a knife and just gone, I don't follow that. I go for the Rabbitohs. Because I know you've done that with me before. But so that's just a little diffuser, as you can say who you're tipping in the footy, and he'll say like Sydney. That. So I'm going for Brisbane now, by the way.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
Do you guys have any road rage?
Yes, actually, I do get road ragey because I feel like I don't get really ragey anywhere else, but it's safe for me to yell in my car just at my – well, actually, no, I don't even yell. I would just say naughty words out loud and that's fine because they can't hear it. So it's just I'm the only person who has to be on the receiving end of that and that's fine.
Yeah.
It's a good
funny.
outlet.
If you think you're never going to see someone again, it's very easy to be like rude.
Oh, I would never be rude. Like I wouldn't – if someone could see me, I would never mouth at them or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just – I would just be like, you're a C word.
Yeah.
Under your breath.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Cuckoo, you mean?
Yes, a cuckoo.
You bloody cockatoo.
Yeah.
Great. Well, it's a big week for sport. It's time for the last time for the M in 2024. The news with in the basketball, the most famous NBA journalist, Adrian Wojnarowski, has retired from journalism. And when he would drop news, it was called a Woj bomb.
Oh, cool.
And so I'm going to throw to you because you have just shocked the wider AFL media landscape by dropping a Mans bomb just before you came on. Over to you, Marnie.
Well, I knew that I was going to mention it on here, so I just put it on Twitter beforehand because I thought that was a respectful thing to do, but I don't really know. Anyway, I'm leaving the Age at the end of this weekend, so Sunday will be my last day at the Age, which is very it's a cool weekend to go out on.
Yeah.
It'll be so much fun. Like Saturday we'll go by in Flash, and Sunday I'll do W, and then done.
Congratulations, that's very exciting. So you're going from the Age to the ABC. Yeah,
I'm going to go do ABC Sport, which I think will be, I feel like I have an energy that will suit their coverage. And also it's a national role, which means because I really hated that I could never do like the Sydney Derby or like the Q Clash, like in the W in particular.
Yeah.
And so being able to do that kind of stuff, I think I get a lot of enjoyment out of.
We've spoken candidly about it before it was while things were happening.
Many times, yeah.
And yes, it would be cool for you to be able to cover all the sports. Yeah. But then also, be able to talk in a bit more detail about the W maybe and other sports and stuff like that. Maybe that's the vibe.
We'll find out.
Yeah,
we'll very much find out. Yeah. But it's felt really weird for the last like 2 weeks. I felt very like unanchored, and especially like doing the live show has been good because I've been like constantly so busy that I haven't been able to like really think because it does feel a bit weird not being tethered to something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, welcome to our world. We just float around.
Yeah.
But no, that's very exciting. Congrats, Mans. It is 1 week before trade week. So
yeah. Also, I was like, I do not have to do the Ages trade blog.
Oh yeah, that'd be Well, yeah, you can just listen to trade radio like the rest of us now. Which is from 7. It starts Monday at 7 a.m.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've run on it.
Awesome.
But yeah, no, that'll be exciting. And everyone coming through in the comments is like-minded on that. So that'll be cool. Are you going to still do this show or?
Nah, I'm out. No. Yes. I'm very much still going to be doing this show.
Great.
But I did think it would be quite funny because I told you two, I think, the first people really that told, other than, my mum and dad.
Oh, that's nice.
And I was like, it would have been really funny if the two of you were like, all right, well, we only wanted you on because you worked at the Age, so
Can you imagine?
see ya.
Yeah. that was the draw card.
Yeah.
No, it would be great. Well, and I have the logo on my body, and I regret it. So don't do that.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't consider it.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But we should talk about actual sports and news. What's the go, Muns?
There's so much to talk about. So much has happened. I guess we should take it back to Monday, which feels like 5 days ago.
It
Not
really
that much
does.
of a exaggeration. When Paddy Cripps got his second Brownlow, 2-time Brownlow now.
Incredible.
That is incredible, and broke the record for the most amount of votes, which also I've just seen, and obviously like even getting to round 22 or whatever, amazing amount of votes. But everyone, like no one's mentioned that like, but there's more rounds than ever before. You know what I mean? Like keep adding more rounds, there's more votes for people to have.
Oh, yeah, that's a really
I
good
didn't
point.
think of that. That's very
Obviously.
clever.
Yeah, and that's why Dacos got 38 as well. Was it
Yeah.
24 rounds? How many games did everyone play? 24?
24.
24, yeah.
Yeah, so they would get higher votes.
And even being like, oh, this person, you should be able to win it with only 18 votes. Like, yeah, well, they used to only be like 20 rounds. So like, what are you?
A lot harder.
Yeah. Although, like, that's not to take away from the, like he obviously polled really well. But a weird night. Have you seen it? Like, my favorite was in round 13 when Nick polled, but Josh didn't, Dacos, where Josh had 34 touches that game. It was like incredible. And Nick only got 15.
And
it
was
was like,
subbed out.
Out.
There was a lot of those, though. There always is, but particularly this year.
that one was just so stark, I
yeah,
think.
Bonds got robbed in a few. Tanner Bruin had some funny ones, which I very much enjoyed. There was a bunch of them.
Didn't Cripps get 3 in their loss to St Kilda in round 24?
Yeah, they lost by 100 points or something.
No, it was Higgins after the Higgins with the last goal.
Yeah, right. There was a game where they lost by 100 points where he polled 3 as well, stuff like that. There was, just incredible, like just crazy. And I think he's a very deserving winner. But I was full like disenchanted with the whole night now.
Well, it like also because they were just like, it's going to go down to the wire. It's going to go down to the wire.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, no, halfway through we knew who was going to win. And that takes a lot of the magic out of it.
It was funny. Jared Waitley all week was going, I think there's going to be a special night. That's all I could think of when I was little. But look, I hear everyone's sentiments about the Brownlow. I feel like I just don't care because I have no respect for that award and I haven't for like 5 years now.
Yeah.
I think it's such a bad decision to make the one award that matters decided by people who clearly don't have a lot of thought for it or have a really slanted perception of it.
Yeah, and unallowed stats and stuff.
And I mean no respect. My first question would be if I was running the show, which I'm not and never will, maybe President Melbourne though.
Maybe.
Is do you want to do this? And find out the genuine answer. Do you want to do this? Because if they do, yeah, great. Well, then let's talk about how you can not give Cripps, 3 votes on a game that you lost by 100 in,
You got subbed
and
out,
how it
yeah.
can actually help you. It doesn't have to be seeing the stats because that'd probably just do the same thing. They just go, who got 32? 32
Interesting though, because I feel like Cripps was like statistically was not the greatest player on the game so many times that it might have helped actually. Like George Hewitt had like 34 and 2 and didn't get a vote, So maybe if they see that, they go, "Oh, that's right. Cripps was right in front of me, but George was awesome." Like maybe you're right. Maybe it makes no difference, but
Yeah, I mean, they're also just like doing their own job. Like they have to watch the ball, not the players. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
there's
to an
a-
extent, they also watch the
you don't
players, but
wanna-
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think they should. From when I used to ref basketball, when I used to referee under 8s girls basketball in 2005, I can't even imagine thinking about who was good and who was bad.
and there is
Yeah,
a large
yeah.
correlation from freeze 4 to Brownlow votes as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine as well, like if that's like if it's not just your only job, how much it would impact you being told at the start of the season, Nick Dacos is the best player, Caleb Song's the best player,
Yeah.
Zach Merritt's the best player, Bont's the best player. So it would be in your head already when you think, we got to do the votes, like who's the best?
Yeah.
It's already in your head that Carlton won and Cripps is the best player. So
On the flip side of that is I wasn't watching, but did Heaney stop getting votes after he got suspended?
It appeared that way, yes.
yeah, he still polled a bit, but not as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he was clearly the best player all year. That's
Yeah,
my
he is.
opinion.
If there was an independent MVP like in the NBA where you get journalists and players and the audience to all vote and you get a median of that, then he would win it probably.
Like, it's not too outrageous. I would have had Cripps in the top 5. I would have had Dacos, Heaney. I would have had Bont. I would have had, hard to say after that, but I think Cripps would be up there. So it's not, and I feel like that's the thing I think a lot of Carlton fans feel like we're knocking Cripps, and it's like,
no,
we're not. It just was just outrageous. And the funny thing is, Broden, I've always loved the Brownlow because I liked how outrageous it was, and then Pritis would pop up and get 3 votes in a random game, and you're like, what the hell? But when it's Cripps every single week for like 5 rounds getting 3, it's just like, that's boring. Give me the random, oh my God, Harrison Petty got 3 in that game. What were the umpires thinking? But I love that because it's like fun and quirky.
Should we have an award? We could do an award maybe next year.
Yeah.
Person who ate the most gummies and shit.
I would win.
Yes, you get the Brownlow for that. My conspiracy theory on this is I'm like, who stands to benefit the most from having this be a massive upset every year? And then let that lead why they don't change the way it's voted.
Yeah.
Who gains the most growth from it being not the favourite every year?
Yeah, 100%.
And you can, that's my...
Oh, yeah, the Brent Daniels one. Someone just in the chat reminded me. My second best performance of the year in my stats Amore was that Brent Daniels game where he had 32 and kicked 4 and didn't get a single Brownlow vote. Yeah. So, disappointing.
Okay. That's interesting.
But talking about votes, Chris Fagan voted by his peers as the Coach of the Year. I find Coach of the Year one of the most fascinating awards because I feel like it is so hard because do you do the person who's just kept a team successful, or do you do the team who was supposed to finish 17th and they won a semi-final?
Yeah.
And that's why I love that it's voted by the peers because they actually know so much about coaching that we just don't. Because I think especially why I like that Fagan got it is that, do you remember the start of the season? They were just like hammered with injuries. They had all those ACLs and they started really poorly and it was like crap. And then even at the end at the start of the end of the season, their backline was just depleted and they had this rotation of just players going through, and they've made it to finals. And then you mentioned on the Monday episode that it was like Fagan outcoached Scott in the prelim. Why are you smirking at that?
I feel bad for saying bad things about Chris Scott. But that's how I felt watching it.
Yeah. And so to be able to do that like in-game adjustments and coaching as well as just the like, okay, well, I'm taking an injury depleted team to finals. I don't know.
Can I give you a hot take?
Yep.
I think Chris Fagan should take that award, walk next door, hand it over to Stewie Jew.
Hey, that is
legitimately 13 and 2.
Well, it's senior head coach, but yes.
It's I was listening to a lot of talk back about this today, and it was the idea of Sam Mitchell versus Chris Fagan as 2 things. It's like, is it better to be a second or third year coach and to come in and get your team to the second round of the finals? Is that more impressive than being in your? I don't know the number for Fagan. I'm going to say a decade. I think it's more like 8 years or something like that.
Yeah.
To be able to adapt your strategy and still be able to make it to a grand final. Is it more impressive to come in and to have your number one strategy the thing that gets you to a final, or is it more impressive to be 8 years in when all your cards have been played and still figure out a way to get there? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And that's why I'm glad the coaches vote on this award and no one else, because I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, I think no one came to mind when you first broached the topic, Muns, but I think with hindsight, it does feel like Sam Mitchell would be an obvious choice. So it's interesting that.
But then, if Sydney win on the weekend, Horse will be put in the conversation of like best coach, one of the best coaches of all time.
Right? 5 grannies, he's got them 2, right?
Yeah, and it'll be his second premiership.
Yeah.
On the other side of it, though, what's his legacy if they lose?
Yeah, bad.
4
So you know what I mean?
finals,
Like the season's not done.
Yeah. That's what we'll talk about it in tipping, but I think that's what I was really excited for the grand final on Sunday when we recorded. And then I woke up Monday and go, I think the fallout for whoever loses this is atomic.
I'm actually like apprehensive. It's actually taking away so much excitement out of it for me because I'm already feeling so sad for the team that loses.
Yeah.
Like genuinely I'm feeling gutted for them.
The 2 runners up and someone's going to be a runner up again.
Yeah. And there are players that like I really adore, and if I have to see them cry, which I will because it'll be put on the TV everywhere, I will like I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I hear.
Yeah.
But speaking of losers, did you see Geelong's Mad Monday?
Yes.
I love that. There were some good ones there. They're very good at
They're
that.
very good.
They are the best every single year.
Yeah.
So good. I particularly like, it's the one that everyone's talking about, the Tanner Bruin going as Sam McClure with the sign, they're not going to take him, Mitch, and Max home dressed as Mitch Cleary. But I love it just as someone who works in media to be like, they do listen to media and they are waiting to take their pot shots back. Of course they are.
Yeah, 100%.
And Jeremy Cameron was dressed as Russell Coit.
Yes.
Which is funny.
Yes. But I saw all these people online just being like, so he just went as himself.
yeah. He thinks he's a farmer. Man, that character sustained, hey. Did you remember you grew up watching Russell Coit?
I just know him because of you, I think. I can't remember
Time
any of
to
it.
hit the road.
I don't remember any of it.
Yeah.
I know the dance.
Yeah. Russell Coit.
The biggest news of the day, Callum Mills has been ruled out of the grand final.
Yeah, so I was in the car this afternoon and he did a presser and he was very like, yep, I feel fantastic. Like he was really lobbying. He's like, I feel the best I've ever felt. I've got 3 hamstrings now.
I grew a new one.
Yeah. And he's like, yep, just need the coach to get it's his now. And then like 10 minutes later, he's like, he's not playing. Yeah. So that's
heartbreak starts already.
Yeah.
God, the first dominoes fall.
Isn't it a thing? And tell me if I'm wrong, that coaches have made mistakes of playing semi-injured players in grand finals.
Yes,
right?
Longmore in particular when he played Sam Reid in 2022.
Yeah, and it was a disaster, right?
Yes.
I think it's so sad for Callum Mills because he's the captain of the football club. When he was fit and healthy before this couple of injuries, I thought he was one of the best players in the league, potentially top 5, definitely top 10. I rated him so highly. So it's so sad that it's come to this where like the captain can't get a game even if he feels like he's ready to go.
Yeah.
I heard a thing about these fitness tests they do, and it struck a chord with me. Is all the fitness people? It can be more of a subjective. They've got the metrics there to be able to go. You at your top speed hits.
Yeah.
I don't even know what number would be close to what's correct, but let's say you hit 20 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, this is how fast you can run. And then if him at full on out today, he's hitting 17, they'll go, you actually are injured, whether you say you are or you aren't. We can see it.
Yeah.
So that it's kind of like he might have had, I feel incredible, but we're like, well, we can see that you're running at half speed and we can see that you can't hit the lateral movement that you usually do.
And that's why you wouldn't play.
Yeah,
because it would be a risk. And with Sydney, they're so stacked. It's not like they don't have excellent players in the wings to come in. So, yeah. But
if it's subjective, if the fitness team gave him the all clear, then I reckon there'd be a bunch of clubs going, let's have a coffee.
I mean, he's the captain, right? It'd be insane, right? He'll be mature and...
Wouldn't be the first captain to go to another club, though.
No, you're not wrong there.
And then times about 10, what I've just said is Taylor Adams should be having a bunch of coffees.
Yeah.
Well, I think it'll be Robbie Fox, won't it? Oh, you mean bunch of coffees with other... Yes, oh my God, sorry.
Yeah.
My brain's a step behind.
Like you did last year, the trader.
Yeah.
But he missed out in the grand final last year. He's missed out in the grand final this year. And it's because they recruited a guy they thought they needed and then their game plan changed and he's no longer needed in this team.
Yeah.
Is what professionals have said, not me.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I'm GWS even...
Didn't he miss a grand final with GWS as well?
No. Oh, he played for GWS, didn't he?
Yeah. I feel like he did. I might be making that up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm probably making that up.
But I love that. I love that narrative.
Yeah. Let's go with it then.
Yeah.
Let's do what the media does, the bloody media. He's missed out on 3 grand finals.
I don't think they ever just...
No, they do.
I like that narrative though. Yes. What else we got?
AFLW, the AFLW fixture getting, like, the backlash actually, like, more and more media picking it up has been, like, in a way, like, heartening to see. Like, it's been heartening to see, like, Seven and other clips, like, on my socials and being talking about the fixture because it was Darren Crocker in his press conference, so the Kangaroos coach, last Friday, where they had the worst turnout of any game this season. It was below 1,000 people.
It was pissing rain, wasn't it?
It was horrible weather. Like Crocker even said it was like cyclonic. But in the presser, someone was like, there was only 935 people here, and he was like, well, that's a question for the AFL. Like, if we played at Arden Street, we would pack it out. It's 5 p.m. on a Friday at Whitten Oval. This isn't our home ground.
Yeah.
Why are we here, basically?
Tom and I know how bad the weather was that night. There was a reason we couldn't go to that game is because the pilot, as we were flying in, just started doing loops of Colac
Loop.
because
so frustrating.
and they wouldn't land until that rain happened.
Yeah. It's interesting, Marnie, because I remember talking to you maybe on pod or maybe off pod about this at the start of the year. And I remember saying, well, what are the coaches and the players saying? And you were like, well, they're trying to stay positive. They're not necessarily, going with the negative line of like the fixture's fucked. When
they can't.
Yeah. But it's interesting that if, Crocker's coming out and saying this now, that's a little bit of a shift, right?
Well, yeah, because I even thought about it being like, remember when Tom Green got in trouble for saying that stuff about the umpire call? I was like, how much can you say about how you actually feel about this before you get given please explain for bringing the game into disrepute?
Yeah.
Because even I was like, that's mad that he's like said these things, like mad in a good way. Like that's so good that he's said these comments, but I'm sure that he's having to reserve a lot but also I feel like he has a lot of ground to stand on because he was being asked like, why aren't people going to your games? And it's like, well, they want to go to our games. They have been coming to our games. It's not our fault.
We talk on Monday on this pod to Emma Race from the Outer Sanctum, and we chat to her a little bit about there's this divide in W fandom where there's some people who feel the need to potentially protest the fixturing and the way it's been rolled out, versus the people who is going to games when it's fixtured so poorly, a support of bad fixturing and what's the right thing to do. And like,
well, sorry, I have so many feelings about this because it's like sport adds to our lives, and our lives are already for the everyday person so full, and sport's supposed to be a reprieve, and it's supposed to be something that's enjoyable. And if you make it a chore, and also I don't agree with the guilting fans into being like, you should go to an AFLW game because it's the right thing to do. I do not believe in that at all. That's not the way to get people to games.
For clarity, with Outer Sanctum, I think their position is just to go and support and enjoy.
It doesn't help the players if you stay home out of protest, so go.
Yeah, but no one's staying home out of protest. They're just saying like, I can't go, and I think that fans should be able to voice that. And I don't think fans should be told you can't voice that you're disgruntled about the fixture because. Like even just like when the fixture came out, like I'm in a WhatsApp group with a lot of AFLW, like rusted on, like have been there since day one fans. And like a few of my friends had to take walks around the block because they were like, this sucks. It is so hard to be a fan of the thing that I love the most. They're making it so difficult. Yeah. And I feel that very deeply because it's even just like, I love AFLW. If I can't go to games, what luck do I have for trying to get my friends to come to games? Yeah. Even just like the amount of times that like the two of you even, like I'm sure you would love to go and support and go to so many AFLW games, but if it's not possible because it's not easy and accessible and enjoyable and it doesn't make your life better, it makes it harder because you have to try and fit it in somehow.
Or I'm doing a lap over Colac in a plane.
I'm missing the only two Suns games in Victoria because of work. And I just can't get out of it. So it's like, what can I do?
As a Melbourne fan, I'm familiar with this as well, though. in both the M and the W.
But we are in the stage at the moment where like AFLW is on every single night, and we just talked about how tired we are. Like we who love football and have dedicated so much of our lives to it, the average Joe is also incredibly tired of football. Like you can't say go down on a Tuesday night, a Wednesday night, a Thursday night, a Friday night.
We were just talking, there was a bit of rhetoric around this week about AFL's taken over in Sydney and it's an AFL town now. As an inflammatory thing to upset Peter V'landys in the NRL, but mostly. But I would argue there's a more fair argument that Sydney is a W city because of the Henson Park 5,000 turnout on, I'm going to say Saturday or Sunday. Sunday. Yeah. Like that is impressive and it's a vibe and a half and very, very cool. Well, I hope next year, do you think they'll do this again next year?
Well, they do. I mean, they have to work out where to put it. Yeah. Because, and that's the thing as well, like every time I bring up anything about the fixture, I get like, well, where are you going to put it? It's like, well, that's not up to me actually. Like I don't get paid to know. Like there are people getting paid so much money with brains smarter than mine to work out where to put the fixture, but where it is right now. And also you can't sustainably have 4 games within 3 weeks for clubs. Yeah. Like think about Collingwood. They're playing with 2 VFLW players because they don't have enough players. Bree Davey, their captain, gets concussed, so she can't play for 2 games and they're currently 0-5.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty unfair.
Yeah, Libby Birch was playing with broken ribs or strained ribs or something.
Yeah, she had injured ribs.
And then had to just lay still for like 2 days so she'd get up for the second game or whatever. Yeah, I'm interested to see, looking back, how the final weeks of the regular season pan out once they do get the clear air, if it changes things up.
Yeah.
Or if it doesn't, or what they'll do there.
Like a run into finals, I imagine if your team's in finals contention potentially. But I mean, what, Essendon have 1 win, Melbourne are on 1 win, Suns are on 1 draw. Like at the end of men's done after the grand final, like how much enthusiasm is there left to give? Like literally in your body, like how much capacity do you have to give?
Yeah.
It's hard. It's like really hard.
There'll be teams who, like, if they're firing, that, like Hawthorn fans, I imagine will fire through. They'll just take the energy from the M and just bring it over.
You'd hope. Yeah.
No, it's interesting. What other things we got?
Freo's best goal kicker, one of Freo's best goal kicker, Anya Tai, did her ACL, and it's just another star that's out for the season. I wish I had something positive W-wise now, because I feel like I've just been very down, but I just have very strong feelings about the fixture and the fan obligations. Because also I do feel like with the metrics, right, because it's like, well, you need to get your metrics up to get more games, that your obligation has been put entirely on the shoulders of fans, and it's just so unfair.
Yeah.
It is so unfair.
I agree with that.
This is the greatest commercial opportunity the AFL has ever had. I think Emma touched very briefly on it about how there is a cap size for the men's, because you can't have 2 MCGs sell out. Like we're getting close to selling out 100,000. The AFLW is the greatest commercial opportunity we have, and you are cutting it off at the fucking knees.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You have an opportunity to sell 2 MCGs on, Thursday and Friday with a W game and an M game. Like there's so much opportunity. So
we're gonna have a lot of weeks to talk about this. So
we can move it.
The only other thing I want to say is I feel like it already, like people, no one ever talks about, and I don't think there's a very fair understanding of, and I have a 10% understanding of, is the power of being able to, for brands to be able to talk to men and women at the same time, and how powerful that is in branding. And for 100 years, the men's sport has been, there's only a certain amount of brands that really want to be represented by a male football player holding a football. And even if no one ever showed up to a W game again, like the opportunity, that the cynical ability to be able to put W players at the front of their brand, whether it's Kellogg's or whether it's, Bupa or whoever it is, the ability to do that is worth a huge amount of money that I don't think people fully understand. Like that's why they're crunching it in and going, whatever hits your CV, whatever your player agreements, we're fine, because at the end of the day, it might even just be losing a little bit of money as opposed to, or close to breaking even, just on the club by club branding that they're now getting. That's I think something that's not talked about enough.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's a game on this Saturday.
I don't care.
No, I'm stoked. Best game of the year.
The grand final.
Yeah, but this particular one.
I'd hope so.
I'd hope so.
I was.
It could be a dead rubber, I guess. Or what do you know?
It better not be.
Name,
but if it's like a blowout, I'm gonna be so mad.
Yeah, I cannot imagine a blowout. It's possible, of course, but that would be outrageous.
Craig Fly McRae on Andy and Gazy as I was coming in today. He's a wonderful talker. I know there's.
I enjoy him on that show particularly.
He'll win a flag one day. He's won 6, by the way. Did you know that, or something like that?
No.
I've made that number up, but assistant coach at Richmond.
Oh, yeah.
He played through the 3 at Brisbane.
Yeah.
Assistant coach with Dimmer, and then has gone to his club in the second year and won at a flag. Like,
That's very impressive.
Yeah.
Doused in gold. But he said the average, we're going to ruin the stat again, but this is an approximation. He said the average close games before this year was something like 21 close games decided by a goal in a year. Out of all the games, 21. And this year it's 41.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy?
That sounds
cool.
reflective of my experience, yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many games where the wrong call or the wrong touch or this or that have had such a huge role in games this year. So it would be fitting in this year for it to be decided in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Are you going, Broden? Yes, you're going. Marnie, are you going? Mm-hmm. That'd be so much fun. I'll be streaming it here if any listeners want to join in and watch along with me.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah, because some people don't have barbecues, or they, come share it with Tom in this room.
Yeah, I don't have barbecues or friends, so you can be.
Is
my
anyone
friend.
going to be here with you?
No, just me hanging out.
It's like Christmas.
Watching the game, talking to my internet friends.
That's lovely.
I mean, that is. It's funny. I wish I'd talked about it with Emma too, but then also you mentioned it before. and you're mentioning it now, but because the Outer Sanctum is an important podcast in the history of AFL media, in my
Absolutely,
opinion. And it was started out of a group chat. And the idea of group chats as a place to talk about sport. And I've met many communities, particularly another one in Sydney the other week of women who talk about sport in group chats. How great. Group chats are awesome. Like I experienced the 2021 grand final, a very important day to me, in group chats.
Yeah.
And it really does feel like you're connected to a large community, and it's just really, really nice. And I don't think many people talk about how important group chats are. Like they're a huge part. Like we didn't have that in society. You'd have to go to a party or something.
Yeah.
And drive and bring meat and a pavlova or some shit. And I think it's group chats.
Yeah, group chats pop off.
Are you in any group chats? No? Oh, we'll get you in some group chats.
Technically, my mother is in our family group chat.
Oh, yeah.
There's 4 of us. That's a group.
Marnie's mum's here for the people listening. But yes. I love a group chat.
Yeah. And the biggest group chat of all that you'd think would be popping off would be the Sydney and the Brizzy ones this week.
Well brought back. I like that.
Actually, I would love insight into the player group chats. Just imagine the chaos that goes on in there anyway.
Yeah. Shall we go through? So what's the big news for the ins and outs?
Well, it's not dropped yet because Hawes had until 6:20 on Thursday night to drop the Mills.
Yeah,
went early.
Yeah, went early, but no McInerney. We know that because he doesn't have a shoulder.
Yeah, okay.
I was going to say it's becoming more prevalent for the coaches to just say who's playing and who's not playing over the years. So like Fagan, pretty much straight after the game on Saturday, was like, "Yeah, mate, he's not going to play."
Yeah.
And then obviously today they've made it public before the team comes out that Callum Mills isn't playing. We don't know about whether Robbie Fox is going to stay in or come out or what. We know probably Taylor Adams. I think they'll try and go in with no change. Football people often say the 2 greatest words in football, and no change. And then they're going to probably bring in Fort, the backup ruckman for McInerney, which makes it such a fascinating matchup because the last time these two teams played, objectively, in this game and objectively, Oscar McInerney is a better ruckman than Brodie Grundy at the moment. As a ruckman, like Grundy, as we talked about on Monday, is probably not 2017, 2018 Grundy.
No.
Still very, very, very good.
I think he's still
He's good
fantastic,
across the board on most things. But McInerney would have bathed him, I think. And I think it would have could have decided a grand final, genuinely.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to see, actually, because something in me says that no, Grundy would turn on early season form for the granny, but he also couldn't have, and that would have been wonderful to see. So we're missing out on a fantastic competition, I guess.
The feedback I've heard on the things that I listen to is that he can't play out a full game at the moment, whether that's his fitness or whatever. He hasn't got 4 quarters in him.
Well, I mean, that's why he didn't work out at Melbourne, right? Because he couldn't run defensively, right? That's famously. But he still played 87% of game time on the weekend. So it's like...
I remember his last game for Melbourne. I watched him, and Melbourne, when we were good, our whole thing was how every player ran the whole ground and no player would ever be not chased. And I remember seeing him not run, and I turned to Mitch, my brother, and said, he's not going. He's going to get dropped. And he never got back in because it's just not in him anymore, or it never was. I don't know, but maybe football changed. But it makes it fascinating now because your first option ruckman versus your second option ruckman. But I don't think Ford is. I think he's a serviceable ruckman as well. It's not like they've had him there ready to go for the moment when McInerney is bad.
Injured,
I'm really, really, really interested in that.
Should be fascinating.
What's his name? Daniel Hoyne?
Yeah.
Hoyne?
Now you're talking my language. Now you're talking my language.
I saw him on SEN.
Yeah, great.
And he was saying that the game's going to be decided on ground ball gets.
That's yes.
Yes, because
I'm so happy.
It was it was something like 80%.
Top 3.
Yeah.
The winner in ground ball gets is always in the top 3 for the year or something like that, isn't it?
Well, he said the stat was 80% in finals and 50% in home and away, but I can't remember what the thing is.
It doesn't matter. You don't need.
But it's about and Brizzy plus 14 on Sydney and ground ball gets. I did remember that.
Now you're doing stats.
You start doing impersonation, everyone just go lower.
Yeah.
Now you're doing stats the footy with Broden Kelly way, Mans, and I appreciate it.
Just make it up on the spot.
Well, I read this one thing that time, and it was sort of saying this.
This is my life. This is not just footy. It's about everything. The worst thing you can do is get in front of a microphone and say, "I think I heard this one."
Yeah, which is as I do every second word on this podcast.
Who are you all tipping? This is the tip, right? The last tip for the men's for the year.
Yeah.
Have you put in your tip already for the age? No.
I will tip Brisbane for fun, but I'd be so stoked with either. I think it's going to be really evenly matched. I think it could go either way. If a team doesn't come out firing, I'll be shocked.
I'll be so mad if a team doesn't come out firing. I'll genuinely be so mad at them.
Yeah,
it'll actually ease the heartbreak I feel for them.
Yeah, 100% be mad at them. So I think it should be like 78 to 84 sort of someone's way, like that sort of scoreline, I reckon.
And you're going Brisbane?
I think so, for fun.
I don't want to have to choose so bad. I mean,
you've been in Sydney all year, right, Mans?
Oh, yeah, heart Sydney. But if I'm doing a head tip, then I don't know. I actually do think Sydney, because I think even I don't want to say Brizzy are lucky to be in the grand final, because they're not. They worked really hard and they deserve to be there. But it was like GWS blew a 44-point lead.
Yes.
Oh,
and
Giants.
who else did they play to get there? I know they knocked Carlton off. They knocked GWS off. They knocked...
Who did they play this weekend, literally?
Oh, Geelong. And it looked like Geelong were up by 20-something in the third. 25 in the third.
And they're up in with 2 minutes left.
Yeah, and it looked like Geelong were going to roll them for a bit, and then they came out firing really hard in the second half. But I don't know. Do they have the legs?
Strength.
I don't know.
Maybe that's
like
the strength. I don't know.
Two things you said there is it's been close all year. They just got through, but that's Collingwood for the last 25 games of last year. That's how they just kept doing it. So maybe that being in that tension for longer is actually good.
Yeah, true.
The other thing you said that I wanted to talk about there was what were the 2 points you just made? I'm so tired. I'm losing my spot all the time. But GWS. Yeah. So I'm just peripherally supportive of GWS, but you can't be up by 1,000,000 points to Sydney, and then you can't be up by 1,000,000 points to Brisbane, because they're both now in the grand final, and you could have beaten them both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they lost to both of them by less than a goal.
That is frustrating.
They beat them in a way and then put the pool cue away. Like they had won both games in a way.
But it's I think that's their model, is that they were so good, but that was unsustainable for 4 quarters. But I really think that they should be really, really put under the pump for how much they've cooked this, because I think a lot of people are happy to make fun of them for an afternoon, but they really should be in the limelight and the spotlight for going, you fucked this.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I messaged Jacob on Monday, and I said, you're a disgrace for what you've done. No, I said, this is losing these 2 games. These are the 2 grand finals. He said, I'm not watching the game.
Fair enough. That's fair.
Because he's so deeply invested in that team.
Yeah.
He's a part of the club as much as that player.
It would properly kill you.
Yeah.
That's a pivot to that. So you're going Swannies?
I think so. And Swans just looked like they were just a class above Port.
Yeah. If they weren't so
really
flaky, I would have been Swans all the way. Just those couple of flaky moments where I'm just like, oh.
2 things to what you said is, for a team outside of the top 4 to win the grand final would really be a statistical outlier. It hasn't happened in 12 years, and before that even longer.
Didn't happen in 2016?
That's what I'm saying, 12 years ago.
Is that 12 years ago?
No, it isn't. It's 8.
Yeah, because I was like, surely that was 8 years ago.
And that's a test that I did for you, because at the ABC you're going to need to be able to do those sums quick, and I just want to test you. Because we did a show for the ABC, and all the time Ida Buttrose would come in and say, 5 times 5, Tom.
22.
Yeah, and then that's why we didn't get a second season.
The first men's final I ever went to was in 2016.
Oh, was it?
8 years ago, yeah.
I don't know if I've ever been to a final. Have I been to a final? I don't think so.
It was a Swans game.
It would be fun.
Anyway.
We should go.
The grand final?
Yeah, I went to the prelim.
Oh, yeah.
Had a great time. Anyway,
we were in LA for the grand final. They didn't care for it for that year. Yeah. And the other thing we were going to talk, so I've seen it way too much this last week from people who claim to be AFL media pundits or experts saying Sydney's been the best team all year. That's just wrong. They were really, really good for about 16 rounds, and then they lost 5 out of 6, and one of which by 111 points or
12
something.
12 points, yeah.
Yeah. Support,
so that's not the best team in the league.
That's what I mean. When I say they're flaky, I'm specifically talking about those 6 weeks where they just sort of are like, oh, whatever. But hey, it might have been tactical. Looking back now, I said this on Sunday, I think if they win the granny, we might look back and like, oh yeah, they took off the foot off the gas on purpose for those 6 weeks.
I heard something from a man called Daniel Hoyne, who said that it looks like they've become a little bit more comfortable with going wide, and they have that in their arsenal now, which is the suggestion is when they were super powerful, they would only go through the middle.
Yeah, right.
And then they spent a bit of time working on a plan B. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
But they were really, really shit.
Yeah, I still think they were the best team this year, like in regular season. But yeah, God, the 6 weeks were awful.
Best team this year, not best team all year.
Potentially not. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Well, like that period, they just weren't the best.
No, they could
be back
It
to
wasn't
the
like they were best round 1, best round 2. But yeah. But if you look at everyone's performances overall, yeah, I think they were the.
Yeah, they were
best
so good
performing
that
teammates.
they were like 48 games clear on top.
That's right. They finished first on the ladder. So
But
yeah.
at that Port game, I can't get over it.
Inexcusable. And the Richmond game, but that was the outlier earlier. But
What do you think about Melbourne media desperately trying to make it Fitzroy, South Melbourne?
You got to do something.
Fun.
You got to do something.
It is funny.
you should. Did we talk about the newspaper? We did. Don't worry about it.
What's my tip though? We haven't given it. Who do you think I'm tipping, Tom?
I think you'll tip Brisbane.
I think I would like you to tip Brisbane.
Actually, you don't like a bunch of Brisbane players. I forgot.
I want you to
Yeah,
stay
you'll
away
tip
from Sydney
for sure.
support.
He's definitely on Sydney. Actually, I'll take it back.
No, because I'm not supporting either of these teams. I think that's different to
Tipping.
like showing
Yeah,
my love.
yeah,
for
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
That would be terminal. For either of
Yes,
these.
that's what I mean. Stay away from Sydney.
Oh, I love this player. I love the way he goes to bed. He'll break his leg.
Yeah.
I am tipping. I believe that. I just think that Brisbane's forward line on a 22-degree sunny day, dry 22-degree sunny day at the MCG, could have a really good game, and I think Harris Andrews will have his way with their forward line.
Yeah.
Because Sydney's forward line, the potent ones are all respectfully little boys.
They are, yeah.
And they're very good. Papley's, I can't wait to see him run around a grand final day and have a fit. But yeah, like Amadi, Harris Andrews is going to cook him.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
And Broden, the game is won by the boys in the forward line.
Thank you.
Elaborate.
No, that's all I've got.
No, it's all about disposal efficiency of the rock.
Yeah, I agree. No, you make
Thank
a good
you.
point. It'll be harder for Sydney to score, I guess. So
And I feel like Brisbane's that handball run was art.
Yeah.
It was like listening to the Beatles, or it was like watching Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
I watched that like 2 days ago. What the fuck?
How great is that film?
Yeah, fun film. I forgot about so much of like the corporate stuff. You know how like Cybernet found Terminator, so it makes like the time loop more complex.
The way that the man dies when he's like,
yeah,
that's traumatized my 10-year-old brain.
Yeah, fair enough.
Did you ever see Terminator 2 Judgment Day?
Oh,
it's great.
It's fantastic.
Oh, it's so Ridley
such a
Scott.
fun. I don't know. Is it? I thought they were Spielberg, or am I making that up?
No, that's very wrong.
Yeah, right.
I love talking about Terminator 2 Judgment Day on Grand Final week. Yeah. But so I was directed by a bloke called James Cameron, who I get confused with Ridley Scott all the time.
Yeah.
But the whole film is
Titanic.
Yes, he makes money. And Avatar, the blue people.
Yeah.
I don't like those movies. I think they're objectively bad, but and exploitative.
Oh.
And but so the first movie, Terminator's a bad guy,
Yeah.
and he's going to kill Sarah Connor, and then
Stop her
James
having a
Cameron,
baby.
brilliant writing, makes him the good guy in the second one, saving the boy. So
Amazing.
good.
A father figure almost.
Ooh,
And he goes, he says, "Hasta la vista, baby."
Yeah.
lovely.
Then he goes into the lava and he melts.
What you? Your mum was compelled to speak by the Terminator 2 Judgment Day conversation. Film older than you,
Sure.
but younger than me.
Yeah.
But great. How did we get here?
Tipping.
So I'm tipping Brisbane, but with no confidence.
Yeah, well, I mean, I want it to go down to the final goal. So you don't know then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'll all be decided with the bounce of a ball.
Are you in the media section?
Yes.
Cool.
Sorry, I thought you were looking past me to my mum, and I was like, no, I don't think she will.
Are you working for Seven? Channel 7? And will you be covering or just watching?
Covering.
Great. And Tom, will you be covering?
I will be live on Twitch
That's
and
very cool.
YouTube.
The good thing for me is that because it's a Victorian paper, we have to do the Victorian rooms if it's like last year, it was like you do Collingwood win or lose. So I wanted, because you're covering the Victorian team.
Right.
So like we would have people sent to the other room, but the majority of us would go to the Victorian room. And I don't want to do a loser's room. Like it would be horrific.
Yeah. Well, Victoria is a loser, so just go do the Victoria room.
Yeah.
Full of all the coaches have to go into a loser room and go, how's it feel being a loser?
Like I just don't want to stick a microphone in someone's face who's just lost a grand final. How are you feeling?
Yeah.
Bad. What do you think? You know what I mean? Like,
I feel great.
yeah.
But can we talk about, I do want to talk a little bit now briefly about the fallout for whoever loses is catastrophic, I think. Like for Sydney, talk through that, is how many grand finals lost in a row would that be now?
4.
That's huge.
That sucks.
That's like,
Imagine losing 20 years of finals in a row. You know what I mean? Like that is tough.
that would be really, really, really bad.
Yeah, it would.
But the silver lining would be they're not going anywhere next year.
They should be up and around it next year.
They're all 12.
They might take a gap year again like they did after the Geelong loss, but should be up and around it.
Brisbane, they are closer to the edge.
Yeah, closer for sure.
They've come up against some other really good teams who just were better than them every year by a little bit, and this is the one that they like. All right, we're here now, and this is our chance. They were a goal away from it last year. If they were to lose again, that would be agonising.
Shattering. Like I'm actually genuinely feeling really sad thinking about either of these teams losing. Can it be a draw? And it just keeps being a draw until they can't possibly play anymore.
I think I agree with you until I think about like the 6-week Europe holidays where they can just lie on a beach and play RuneScape, and I'm like, actually, I wouldn't mind losing.
They're not playing RuneScape.
Yeah, they're playing
I
RuneScape.
actually wouldn't mind losing a grand final, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, like you'd get it would hurt, but everyone has hard periods.
Yeah.
This is something, people are like, there's something I really struggle with about seeing an old man sad, and Chris Fagan being sad is hard just because the old man.
Yeah.
He's so tiny too.
He's small, yeah.
And you look next to Joe Danaher, teensy tiny.
Yeah, tiny.
So that'd be hard. But then also, like, I don't think Joe Danaher, well, he doesn't show emotion. So you just look at him, you're like, oh, it doesn't seem to matter them.
Yeah, he doesn't even run through the banner.
Doesn't he?
No, he runs around.
Did you not see for his 50th, they made a guard of honour? Oh, it might have been 100th or whatever. I don't know what milestone it was. And he ran around them.
Yeah.
They had a guard of honour for him. And he ran around instead of running through it.
You know what he does? He beats to the beat. He dances to the beat of his own drum.
Sure.
As
what he
Broden likes
does.
to say.
But I'm going to feel bad for whoever loses, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, I think it's going to be great. I think the big winner is football. To be. Do we have other segments that we do?
Well, I'm waiting to hit tipping because I guess we could run through the W really quickly, and we want to.
Oh
hit
yeah,
that
great.
song.
And also, this is a retroactive tipping for the grand final.
Tipping.
There are going to be some.
Tipping.
There are going to be some W games around the big dance on Saturday that that the round has already started. As football rounds traditionally do start on the Tuesday, and we've already had a game this weekend. I'm tipping Richmond to beat Port.
Me too.
Me too, by 3 and a bit goals.
Oh yeah, I'm going to go 21.
Hey.
11 games this week. It's very odd.
As soon as we go off air, you can just switch over to KO and watch at Icon Park Carlton taking on North, where you can watch North decimate Carlton.
Yeah.
That'd be gross.
On
But
wetsuits.
Yazzie Derma's debut that she announced on the Brownlow red carpet, which I loved. I love. So she's dating Harley Reid, and I also love because I called Yazzie over to chat, and then Harley was kind of like avoiding a lot of media, and I was like, oh, it would be good to like talk to both of you, and so she made him come over.
What's it like going to the Brownlow? Because we've never have and never will.
Yeah.
I'm sure one day if you wanted to.
I'm good.
But yeah, it's a weird vibe. Even just like doing the carpet is kind of like, it's so exhausting. Like the adrenaline pulls you through, but it's chaotic and it goes so quick and you get plays for like a few minutes. And like some are like really generous with their time. A lot of the season ones are like, oh, I chatted to Viney for ages.
Yeah.
Jack Miney.
Yeah, but also like I'll pick women that I like as well, because I was like, Charlotte, I like your TikToks, and then like Jack will just come on over with it.
Yeah.
But
And you're
yeah.
competing with all the TikTokers and everyone interviewing as well, aren't you? Like,
Yeah, and so I would ask like football questions as well as like fashion questions. But yeah, like Scott Pendlebury will give all day. Like he's actually so generous with his time and interesting with his answers. Like even like he was just like talking about how I was like, how do you think Nick's going to go? And he's like, well, it's not an accurate representation of the best player of the competition, but Nick is the best player of the competition. And then, you know, like like he would actually talk about like interesting things rather than just be like, oh yeah. And then you had players like the Port Adelaide players. I think they were really feeling that prelim loss because they didn't want to talk to anyone other than they're like assigned. You have to talk to Channel 7. You have to talk to, you know what I mean? Like, so some players just want to like
get in,
get out. And some avoid doing the carpet. Like I think Petrarca avoided doing the carpet last year. Wasn't there this year. And then inside the room is like 1,300 people. So it's
big room.
So many people.
Can I ask about the food? I know you only have vegetarian options.
Yeah.
But is it normal wedding fare or is it a bit nicer or the same old, like a bit of meat and then some veggie kind of deal? Like, is it like the president's function we went to pretty much?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I had like a veggie pie with some like cauliflower and stuff that was like quite nice.
It's always cauliflower, isn't it?
Always cauliflower.
Or it's a gnocchi. It's always a gnocchi.
Mushroom risotto. Or like a veggie stack. It's always like a veggie stack. But the desserts were so good.
Marnie, tell me about the desserts at the 2024 Brownlow.
Wait, I'm sure I have a picture. Hold on 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I took a photo of the menu.
While you're doing that, we forgot to say that, Charlie's retired.
Charlie Dixon.
Yeah, see you later, Charlie.
An interesting career. Gun player, scary looking player.
Yeah, Gold Coast legend.
Was done.
Yeah, it makes you wonder why they played him in the last couple of games.
I think they had no other choice.
Yeah, right.
They were completely depleted in the forward
in
line.
my mind, there's always a choice, but I guess maybe you're right.
Yeah, there's no one else to come in.
So I must have deleted the photo of the actual menu that I sent, but
Shame.
there was like 5 different ones, and they're so small. They're like 3 inches, maybe. Is that 3 inches?
Like a mouthful.
Yes, and so my favorite one, it was like a strawberry, but it was like strawberry icing and like mousse inside. Like
Now
it was an
we're
actual
talking.
strawberry.
Now we're
They had
talking.
like cherry cones, like ice cream cones, but the top was like cherry.
Yes, now we're cooking.
Yummy.
They had like mini pavlovas. They had
I like that.
I don't even know how to describe this, but like it was like this jelly with like flowers in it.
A jelly with flowers in it. What did it taste like?
Oh, it's called a tartlet.
You don't like sweet stuff though, do you?
No, I only tried the strawberry.
Well, thank you for doing this for me.
And then the chocolate one tasted like lint mousse.
Oh,
yummy.
Maroon. See, these guys know I like sweeties. In fact, after our Perth show at 11 o'clock at night, I made them sit and watch me eat about a kilo of desserts that were given us to the venue. And
as
I
I
made them
cried
watch me
internally.
and give eye contact as I ate these things. And then I'm like, all right, now we can go home.
Yeah, and I was suffering greatly.
So tired after that show. I just remember sipping on a whiskey on ice, just like keeping myself upright.
Yeah.
I had to do a lot of work to get through that, but it wasn't easy.
No. And I sat down and was like, tell me about that one.
Yeah, it was
What does
yummy.
it taste like?
There was a cheese dessert that I can't even explain what it was, and I got to get that menu. But can you on the red carpet there is an audience watching the red carpet.
Weird. So
Why?
A club allocation. So it's like kids that just want to they just yell to the players to get stuff signed.
Oh,
And like they have fun. Like they do, like it's a cool vibe. Like they have a lot of fun. It's just then you're also competing with kids to try and talk to players.
Who's going to sit in a seat and watch a red carpet like an audience? That's insane to me.
It's strange. Oh, but that's not like you have people lining up like in Crown because it was all like barricaded off, like going up the stairs and stuff. You have like people trying to get a glimpse in. It's yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know.
Weird.
I didn't tell you about the toilet situation though.
Oh, do tell.
The men's toilet flooded, and so the toilets in Crown were completely blocked off, and you have 1,300 people drinking.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And so if you went to the toilet, you got locked out for like that round thing because you couldn't possibly get there because they sent you to the one, like to the backup ones in which there wasn't enough. So a lot of people, you have like Craig McRae, you know, being sent to the hotel lobby to go to the toilet.
Yeah,
like 'cause they just didn't have any.
That's so funny.
It was,
on you,
yeah,
good on
it was
you,
so
Crown.
funny.
One more thing on this. It was an open, like, what are the drinks? Just beer and wine?
Oh, beer, wine, champers.
Yeah, boring. They should open up. So I'm tipping North.
Yeah, I'm tipping North too.
Thursday, tomorrow night, or tonight if you're listening, Geelong versus Hawthorn. Hawthorn are on a run here. Geelong sometimes show up and are okay, and sometimes they're no good. They're still a young team. I think figuring out consistency is my hot take on them. But I'm going Hawks because I reckon I think they've got good momentum about them, and it's happening at GMHBA. But D's beat Cats there, so who knows?
That's fun.
Yeah, this might be game of the round, but the round goes for 500 days.
Yeah.
So I'll just go Catters. I'll even you out.
Yep. And then the next game is Friday night. This is something to do. Oh, it's lunchtime.
Yeah, that's what I'm complaining about all week.
Yeah,
I know I
yeah.
shouldn't, but I can't get there because some of us have to work on public holidays because some of us are interviewing famous people.
Yeah, we're doing a special guest that day.
So this is a Collingwood home game at Swinburne Centre, which is a little annoying.
Yeah, I believe it will be connected in some way to the grand final.
It will.
parade.
It's all a part of the footy festival.
Festival of
today.
Footy.
Yeah, I got a text saying it's I can't just show up with my membership. I have to get a ticket. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's a punt road with a capacity of 2,000.
Yeah. And Slipknot, I think, are playing at 6 p.m. in the Festival of Footy.
I'm so sad to miss out, but anyway, it is what it is.
I'm so sorry.
No,
maybe
you
maybe
shouldn't
this
say
famous
sorry.
person will cancel.
If they do, I'm making you come with me.
Yeah.
We're going to Swinburne Centre, Broden.
And then at 2 o'clock at Windy Hill. Are you going
Wait,
to
we didn't tip. It's Collingwood Gold
Collingwood.
Coast.
Suns
by
win.
like 800 points.
Suns win.
Okay,
Suns win.
yeah, but Collingwood is 0. Collingwood don't have a win. Collingwood got smashed by the Western Bulldogs.
Gold Coast, very bad though.
Yeah, but at least they drew with.
So this is bottom of
they
the
drew
ladder,
with?
right?
Yes, this is
17th
bottom of the
versus
ladder.
18th?
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's tough. I'll go Gold Coast. Why not?
Yeah, I'm going Gold Coast.
Yeah, go Gold Coast.
Martin's just eyeballing this. They've cooked the fixture in so many ways, but a big public holiday of 4 games that run into each other is great.
Yep.
I like this. This D's and Bombers at Windy Hill, I will go to.
Yeah, it's just, again, huge assumptions
We can
that
fight.
everyone has the day off, you know?
We can have a full-on punch on.
Yeah.
If you want to drive a courier van past me, then we could start it before we even arrive. Yeah. Are you going to go to this?
Yeah, I'll be working it because it's season on the line for both Essendon and Melbourne because they only have 1 win.
Yeah.
I'll be it's a very important time. I need to practice my first ever hour of comedy I've written entirely by myself that I'm doing next Tuesday night by myself, and I'm horrified
Hey, I
about.
got to buy
But
tickets to that.
no, you don't.
Yeah,
no, you're not going. You're not welcome.
I'm going.
I don't want anyone going to it. Why have I mentioned it on this?
Yeah, now you're going to have heaps of people wanting to
Sell out in
go.
2 seconds.
No. But that game looks good, and I will probably go to it because it's 10 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
I will tip Essendon by 180 points.
But Essendon also, actually, they weren't horrible against Adelaide.
No, they were good.
Yeah, okay. We'll go Essendon. Why not?
I give Essendon all my love and support, and I love them.
I'm so mad at you now.
I think
No.
they will win the premiership.
Stay away from Essendon.
I love Essendon.
No.
No more blue. Put black in there. Red and black, I say. Bomb.
Go
That's
D's.
my favourite dessert. Bomb Alaska. Bombers Alaska. Hey, they're BNF.
What's your favourite type of plane?
It's a really, really interesting question. I would say the Airbus A380,
Yeah,
which was
that's what I was thinking.
a double-decker plane.
That's mad.
4 engines. So if they called it the Titanic of the sky, Marnie.
Well, they shouldn't. They really shouldn't.
Because if because the idea of the Titanic was if one of the hubs fills,
Yeah.
then Jack would die.
Yeah.
No, Jack wouldn't die.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the iceberg cut all the holes open, so
Yeah.
Jack died on the door. Not on the door, famously.
Yeah.
James Cameron. James Cameron. Hey, Jack has the same ending as the T-1000 or whatever. He going under the water, they disappear under one's lava and one's icy water. They're a sequel to each other. Anyway, maybe Jack's a Terminator.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, what were we talking about? AFLW.
Essendon favourite plane.
Yeah. So my favourite plane is the A380.
Yeah, obviously.
I
Clearly.
like commercial planes. At 4 o'clock at RSCA, which is apparently a vibe for
It
W.
is such a vibe. I actually was like, because I was there last weekend, I was like, we should do it and do a food review because they had strawberries in chocolate. They had a pasta wheel. I don't know how the pasta wheel works, but I guess you spin the wheel and you get a pasta.
You drive your car around on ravioli.
Yeah. I really wish I could remember all the other things, but there was like 5 food stalls that I was like, this goes off, and they have like a hole in the wall Red Rooster chips.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Fun.
And also chicken, but obviously.
It would be funny to drive past like 140 Red Roosters to Seaford and then to get Red Rooster chips. It's not like they don't exist, but I had chicken treat from Perth.
How was it?
We got to get into that another time. The season's coming to an end, but we went deep on.
We did.
We're like, oh, everyone in Perth's like, you got to try chicken treat. Chicken treat's the shit. And then we sat down in the lounge as I ate my chicken treat and talked through who owns all these companies. Long story short, if you like a chicken brand in Australia, they're all the same people.
Yeah.
And it's all a Hong Kong company.
Oh.
Called,
Who own a bunch of other stuff as well. What
Yeah.
else? I forget now, but they
own
Porto, they own a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, they own Red Rooster. They own all that stuff. And
Yeah.
listen, it goes all the way to the White House.
Yeah,
That's all
it
I
really
mean to
does.
say. The Washington Post will write about it soon. I've got the scoops.
Your show's too late, Broden. You're going to be so tired.
Yeah, no, stop.
It's at 10 p.m, Broden.
Stop! So I've had enough of this. Fremantle, St Kilda. I know Saints are really, really good. I'm going to go Freo here for a surprise.
I know this is coming from me, but I think Saints have run out of steam. I think against Hawthorn, they did not look good. Jesse Wardlaw had 2 goals, and that was the only goals they had that game. And Freo don't look bad.
I can't help but feel like it was my fault because I backed him in and really got on him. So
No, it would be my fault if anything. Like a bit of Chernobyl, peripheral.
The peripheral radiation.
Yeah, you've got my Chernobyl.
Yeah, I still back St Kilda for this game.
Yeah, cool.
Why not?
I mean, it'd be good. I also would, it'd be good vibes for them to win at home.
And then that night, before we go to sleep for dreams and we dream of glory the next day, Doggies and Sydney at Mission Whitten Oval.
The women and the men are on the same chartered plane, which I think is a really nice
will be
touch.
fun, yeah.
And I know a lot of Sydney fans that are flying to Melbourne for the grand final that are going to this game, and I think that's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is very nice. Do they have to go through Melbourne Airport still though?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that's gonna
Fuck them up.
that's the worst. Not for me. I'm going to tip. I think I'm going to tip Swannies, even though the Doggies had their first win.
They looked all right.
And it was a vibe and a half.
They looked all right.
Vic Park's dope. I
love Vic Park.
Yeah.
Sydney. I'm going Sydney.
Yeah. Me too.
And then North are back. And this time it's and Richmond are back at UTAS.
UTAS. So Richmond will have 1 extra day of rest, I guess.
But North are
The best.
the
best
best.
team in
The best in the biz.
Yeah, still tip North, I guess, especially down
I'm
Tassie, I
tipping
guess.
North, yeah.
Mia King,
Sick. She's so cool. Can we get her on?
a Tassie player
Yeah.
who will be playing in their home island
Yep.
because we know them from Party in the Paddock,
We do. Lovely.
where I said the wrong name on stage and I still cringe about it. But I'm tipping North by 180,000 points.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's my margin.
That makes sense.
3 o'clock, Brisbane versus Adelaide at Springfield.
You did miss Giants Eagles.
He does this every time. His phone's
I've got the
always
AFL
fucked.
app.
Yeah, he always skips one. It's crazy.
Oh, because they're on at the same time,
Yeah.
and so they're flipped on mine.
But this is the 4th time this has happened, man.
But
So very
I'm on
interesting.
the WAFL. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, me too.
Whatever. Lions Adelaide is game of the round number 2.
I would love to see Adelaide win this.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be that surprised. Adelaide are looking really good, like really strong. But then obviously Brizzy.
Hey, Mans, who's looking like they could get the McClellan Cup this year?
Oh yeah,
Brisbane
Sydney.
100.
If Sydney
Oh,
win,
yeah,
is it Sydney?
Sydney.
Oh no, because Sydney and W haven't had that many wins, and their wins are worth double.
Yeah, so I think it's a really
It was
interesting.
it was Sydney Hawthorn, I think, that were in the race. Oh, Brizzy, obviously
It has to be
Brizzy. It's
Brizzy,
Brisbane.
yeah. Has
It's
to be
Brisbane.
So Brisbane finished 5th this year in the men's, or is it if they win the Premier, is that considered higher than the ladder?
I don't.
Because it's home and away, isn't it?
Yeah, it's home and away,
Yeah,
home and away.
okay. Then maybe
So there's
not.
5 teams who could get up in front of them. So if you look at the men's, you've got Sydney, Port Geelong, Giants. So I don't know if this is official, but you would just need any of those 4 teams to finish above Brisbane to have a higher ending, right?
Or they could finish lower because it's double points.
Yeah.
So Sydney
Yeah.
could get it if they're only if
Sydney-
they win a few
Yeah.
games.
If Sydney,
Yeah.
So City are sitting 9th at the moment. If they can push their way up into the top 8, they have a genuine chance at it. Hawthorn, obviously finishing in the top 8, would have a fair chance at it because they're currently 5th.
Yeah.
North have no chance in the darkest parts of hell. Brizzy, obviously 3rd, currently in the W, probably will. But probably one of them. Probably Brisbane.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, Brizzy. I mean, Brizzy are
Yeah.
they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, far out.
I'd
Good
take
on them.
Brisbane against Adelaide.
Yeah, and Brisbane are also very ruthless.
Oh, the game is starting in 1 minute, the other one, so you'll be able to jump over as soon as we're done. Don't leave us. Oh, you can. You can put a split screen on. Giants, Eagles. in Sydney at Henson Park.
Yeah.
Is this how often did GWS play at Henson Park?
I think they're sharing it as a home because their other home was Blacktown, and I don't think it was viable.
The opposite of a vibe.
Yeah.
It kills vibe.
Yeah.
It sucks in vibe and
Yeah.
like a black hole. I've never been there. But Henson Park is a vibe, we know that. It generates vibe. Eagles have looked okay apart from when they lost the other day. They're inconsistent because they're a young team.
Yep.
Who's there? They've got like a brick wall player I saw. I wasn't watching the game. There's like a gun full forward for West Coast. I've got to come back with more information. But there was like a brick wall of a player. I'll come back and talk about that another time.
Great.
But Giants, I'm going to tip because they've had a couple of good games and a
Have
couple of
they?
drop-off games. Well, that first game when they had 800%.
Yeah.
That's true. I feel like
Did they beat
West
the
Coast-
Doggies by 63 points?
I'm surprised it's 16 to 84%. I feel like I'm vibing West Coast. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think I'll tip West Coast as well.
I respect it.
Also because Nick Barr's out for the Giants. Yeah.
Yep. And then the last game, guess who's back? Carlton Port.
Albertson, have fun.
At Albert Noble, which is
This is
Port's training facility.
Yeah, I love that.
And Port is a place. We were there last week, not Port.
I hear it's a great vibe down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. It's such
Yeah.
a good area.
People love Albertson.
It's awesome. And Carlton could be, I think Port have probably lost some important players and I don't see them finishing the season well. That's my...
Do you see Carlton finish their season well?
I don't mind some of their players still a little bit.
Mimmy.
Yeah, the Mim.
The Mim.
The Mim. I like Gab Pound.
Oh, we love Gab Pound.
We love Gab Pound. I feel like they've had a couple of good games, bad games kind of situation. That win in Mackay I thought was a good one. And
They beat Geelong by
hang on.
heap.
Is Gold Coast did we not tip Gold Coast? Oh, they've got one game.
Yeah.
It's felt strange only seeing them once in this round.
Yeah. But they are playing on next Wednesday, so it's still a short turnaround.
Oh, that's 9 rounds from now.
Yeah, so still a short turnaround, but yeah, not enough to be in the same round. But I think I back in Port. I still back in Port. I feel like they're good.
Oh, back in Carlton.
Hell yeah.
You know what? I reckon this one's going to be a draw.
Oh,
Fuck
I
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
There's been some draws. We like
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Well, that's us for this Wednesday. And I understand some of you won't stick around or you might come and go as the W thing. I encourage you to stick around. But if you've been with us so far this year, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a big, long year, but it's been lovely. And I hope we've been an important or fun part. Not important. I hope we're in a fun part of your week that is of no importance and of no importance. So lovely to see you all. Don't come to the show Tuesday. And enjoy whatever you're doing on Saturday, whether that's hanging out with Tom on a stream or at the game or in a media centre or watching Terminator 2. We wish you all the best and have a great, if we don't see you till next year, have a great Christmas. And what are you doing New Year's?
We should still put out top 8 things about Christmas and top 8 things about New Year's.
Yeah, I was thinking that we record like next week.
Yeah, great.
Mans, thank you, mate. Thank you for being around all year.
Thank you.
Huge year. What a roller coaster.
Yeah.
You're away next week,
I am.
but then you'll be back.
Yeah. And next Wednesday, I'm pretty sure it's Essendon, Sydney.
Is it?
Or maybe it's next Thursday. I don't know.
That's 25 rounds from now.
Yeah,
That's my new running joke I'm going to do.
I like it.
Thank you, everyone, and we'll enjoy the game. Bounce said pill. And thank you to our dear watchers who are here with us. Oof. There were so many things I forgot to do that people were asking in the chat. Who do you think for the Norm Smith?
Yeah.
What will Katy Perry's 5 songs be? All these kind of things. These are things that we didn't get to. Instead, we needed to talk about the 4 engines of the Airbus A380.
Yeah, and that's we're very on brand at least.
And there's a Doctor Who episode where it was the Titanic of the Sky and Kylie Minogue was a guest star, and I even refrained from bringing it up because we have rambled too much. We have tangented too much about this, so I won't even talk
You
about the
said,
Kylie Minogue episode.
8 interesting words to me there. Was it literally a flying Titanic?
Yes.
And Kylie Minogue's in it?
Yes.
Why?
She was in the guest episode. It was after the David Tennant as the Doctor, he just lost a companion. So it was like before he got the new one, and they did a Christmas special, and Kylie Minogue was the guest star.
You're a real Whovian.
Yeah.
What did she play?
She was like a waitress on the ship. She just wanted to see the stars.
Oh, wow, Kylie Minogue. She performed in the same venue as us in London a few days after us.
Cool.
And I was like, hey, she's probably using the same toilet I used. And then I thought, probably not. They probably.
Cool thought.
Yeah, I think probably at the hotel
Yeah.
and then, nice hotel next door.
But we were staying at the hotel next door.
bring
She could have been in the. I think she was in the
over.
hotel one day because there was security guards everywhere. I reckon I was like, Kylie's here.
That's cool.
She should come all the way from Erinsborough to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone. Aaron, you've been around all year. What a legend. Richard, you've been around all year. All these names I'm saying. Michelle, Disorder. Who could forget Disorder?
Yeah.
Who have all been here. I hope you. What do you just chuck in the comments? And I know you all sit there and you're lurkers, and I've come to love the lurkers too. But just chuck in the chat where you'll be watching on Saturday.
Thomas Good just commented hashtag Allons-y. I have Allons-y tattooed on my arm.
LNZ.
Allons-y. It means let's go in French, but it was David Tennant's The Doctor's catchphrase.
Oh, fun.
Do you know what I see on YouTube a lot from the Who show, Doctor Who, the Who show, is that Van Gogh episode.
Oh, that is such a good one.
That cuts through.
Oh, yeah, the ending is very poignant. Is that the word? Yeah.
Yeah, pointed. Yeah, it's that's what sci-fi can do really well, isn't it? It's not pew pew pew. It's about what this allows us to narratively say is what if Van Gogh saw his own artwork?
Yeah.
Which is a lovely thought.
Yeah, except that he was a cooker. God, remember when he... Oh, God.
One of the worst art exhibitions I've ever been to was the Loon thing in Dockland.
Oh, yeah, I went there.
Not for me, because it was just like projected screens, and there was it goes through his life as it moves through, and then it ends with a gunshot in the field because he took his own life in a field. I was like, this is completely tasteless. I was like, but I'm still on board. And then I walked into a room and they'd covered a Lexus in flowers and like brought to you by Lexus. I was like, I'm leaving.
Yeah. No, because that's where I found out about all the like abusive stuff that he did. But I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, because he wrote a lot of letters to someone he
Well, when he
loved.
cut his ear off, he sent it in the mail to a woman who was like, leave me alone. So he's like, okay, well, here's my ear in a box. Like,
In wider media, that was probably acceptable like 10 years ago. We were just talking about MASH before and how MASH in the 70s, the amount of like SA jokes that are made and like just these weird, like, why is this okay? And it was ditched off as cheeky.
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's, good paintings though.
Yeah, really good.
Very mentally ill person. Ranger. Who's your favourite artist?
I don't know do I care for art?
Do you have a favourite artist?
No.
Yeah, Tom Papley. He's an artist.
What he does with the ball. Mine's John Brack. He's a Victorian. He's a South Australian artist.
Jack Van Zet for me.
Who's that?
Yeah, Thruppence.
Do you do art?
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Jack Van Zat.
Yeah, he did some for me once. It's phenomenal.
Okay.
You should Google. It's great.
What's everyone doing?
North of flying. Two goals.
Aaron's having a grand final party with him. Bulk footy food. Yeah, that's who's going to Costco. I'd go to Costco. That's what I'd do. People asking for Storm's Roosters tips. I mean, in real life, a Storm would beat a Rooster, but Roosters often survive Storms.
Well, if I can go to my New South Wales Rabbitoh heart, I fucking hate the Roosters. They are my Collingwood, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel... Like, I actually really love watching Carlton and Hawthorn and Collingwood do well. Not the Roosters. Never the Roosters.
Diana, how about Streeton?
Oh, I love a street.
Yeah, that's
what I've got on the wall.
The chat's suggesting that. One certain person, I won't say who. Yeah.
Oh, is it Dad?
Arthur Streeton. I actually grew up in the Tom and I both grew up in the shadows of the Heidi Gallery, which is where Arthur Street and all of the Sydney Nolan all painted in that. Yeah,
But
yeah.
wasn't there like a development there as well? Yeah, Street and Views.
They called them a school, though.
Yeah.
Well, it's called Street and Views. There's a
The
suburb.
suburb,
It's a
yeah.
bogan suburb near
Right,
us,
near us, yeah.
named after Arthur Streeton's work. But we lived down by the Banyule. We grew up near the Banyule Flats, and the Heidi Mansion is up on the top of the hill.
Yeah.
And all this beautiful. You should go for a walk actually while you're down there. I would take you down there to the Banyule Flats if I had time, which I don't. But
Going to Japan.
but I would suggest you go to the height, just walk through the Banyule Flats and go, this is where Streeton drew, there's swamps and beautiful, beautiful. Should we talk more fine art? Maybe it's the fine art with Broden Kelly in the off season.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't say me, Mum, because you've got that collage I made you in your bedroom.
Oh, and you had art hung in the local gallery?
Did I?
You won a prize?
Did I?
Marnie won a prize.
Sounds like me.
Of swimmers.
Of
It
swimmers.
was the Olympics and
I drew swimmers
you drew swimmers.
and I got a prize.
And won
Thank
a
you
prize.
for everyone
about right.
telling what they're going to do on Grand Final Day. I appreciate it. There's some lovely stories coming through, and I'm reading them all. So thank you for them. Someone's watching in the standing area of Bay 31, which will be lovely.
That would be lovely.
I'll be at the game. Can't wait. Sorry you can't go, Tom.
No, I didn't want to go.
He doesn't want to go.
We're happy to hang out with my people.
It actually is like, I mean, the magic of a grand final is like nothing else, but it is overwhelming for like to and from and everything outside of the actual game. I'm actually like, yeah, because I went to the prelim, the Geelong Brizzy prelim, and because usually media is like, by the time I'm leaving, everyone else is gone, but leaving a game like that, I was like, oh my God, this is actually like, it's really overwhelming to be like 90,000 people all like yelling and
And now they've taken away the limes. I could fly away at an incredible speed from that. But yeah, there were the 93,000 that were there for that game was so. I almost fainted genuinely.
Yeah.
I had 3 beers and then jumped around, and I'm 35, so I almost died.
Did you eat? Make sure you eat on Saturday.
I'm going to run on a treadmill for 3 hours with Tom, and then I'm going to go to that game.
Please eat.
Yeah, that'll be fun. All right, shall we bail?
Yes.
Yeah, Tom's done. Thank you so much. Join the stream on Saturday morning as we run for freedom. And special guests coming out that I won't announce just in case they cancel, but keep an eye out for that on Friday, and have a good week. See you in a few weeks, Mons.
You'll see me tomorrow.
Why?
Our live shows.
Oh, yeah, those 1,000 people coming. Whoops. All right, we'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see you soon.
Tomorrow,
We'll see you
at the live show.
And we'll see you soon, I think a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And
On your ticket?
yeah, bounce that pill.